Hey guys, it's Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitters, WrestlingMayhemShow.com. This is the WWE RAW Wrap Up. Just moments, minutes, meters, seconds. Okay, a little more than that. After Monday Night Raw goes off the air, it's October 27th. I'm here in Pittsburgh, PA, in the Mayhem Studios. There's video games all over the place from Extra Life this past weekend. Go check out the link over at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. Check it out for a good cause. Video games for Children's Hospital. And with me is Mad Mike in Poughkeepsie, New York. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. My Zygon's trying to get inside my TARDIS.
That's weird. That's really weird.
And technically, we always air seconds after Raw. It could just be a lot of seconds.
It doesn't know what time zone it is, you know? Also, hey, a big announcement, of course, if you've been following us on YouTube or Stitcher in the super feeds, there are now independent feeds for these shows. Look for the WWE RAW Wrap Up on iTunes and Stitcher, and you can subscribe to just this show now. So you can get it the cool way.
So in other words, if you want to see all the cool kids like me and Sorg all the time and forget everybody else, this is the one you subscribe to.
Well, there you go.
Right here.
That could be the way to do that. So let's get right into our WWE Raw. This is, of course, I don't want to get too much into Hell in a Cell itself, but I'm sure we're going to talk about that a great deal tomorrow for Wrestling Mayhem Show live. But for Raw tonight, general thoughts. What's the first takeaway you have from this, Mike?
We're getting teams again, which is good. However, the teams themselves could be kind of the same stuff we've seen.
As opposed, like, what do you mean? Like you talking about the tag teams we've been having every week?
Yeah, we've had a lot of six-man tags, a lot of handicap matches, and I don't want to see those same people involved in an elimination tag match. I don't want to see any of those people involved. Okay,
well, I think you're going to. Unless they have some other place for Seth Rollins and Kane to go, I think you're going to. I'm thinking Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt is going to be a thing that's going to happen outside the Survivor Series. I think it needs to be. I think I don't know. I think they'll recruit from the undercard. I think it's gonna hump that up a little bit. I imagine if first, okay, let's right off the top just say it's going to be a 4-on-4. It could be a 5. It completely.
I'd say 5-on-5 because you're not going to have a title match.
Yes. You know, what mic was I on? Because I don't... Could you hear me before?
I could hear you, but you were echoey, and now I can hear
Oh,
you.
I was on the other mic far away. Okay, we're back now.
I can hear you a lot better.
There we go. It's a lot better there. Things are still weird from the weekend. Anyways, no, I completely see it's probably going to be... obviously, we got Cena, we got Ziggler. It's going to be the Usos.
It's probably going to be Sheamus, because why would you want to have mid-card title matches?
There you go. Just clear the deck.
I hate that though.
It could be. I know, but it's a Survivor Series.
I know that, but you don't have a world champion.
So you have a Survivor Series. For the first few years, there was no world champion at Survivor Series.
No, he was in one of the matches.
But there was no championship. Still.
Okay, but he was represented.
Still. I don't think that matters here. So with the absence of a championship match, we're back to the point. I was like, well, let's let the Survivor Series match be the gimmick here. So we're building towards that. Let's get back to this Raw in particular. Starting that up, we really kind of laid it out. I really feel like, why do we not like Cena and the Authority? Like, it's not like clear to me. You know, they just do. It feels like they do just because at this point.
Well, it seems like the Authority should take offense to Cena they should take offense to Cena calling himself the guy who runs this place when they are literally the people that run this place.
That makes sense. But I understand.
But they bring that up.
They don't?
No, I mean they haven't. Like Stephanie tried to recruit him tonight, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
They're even acknowledging, like, okay, we get it. You do kind of run the place a little bit. We know.
Like, I think legitimately he doesn't run the place as much as they say. anyways, no, I think I think it's good. It's a good kind of in-betweener for us to go to Survivor Series. I think they did such a good job out of people scratching their heads initially going into Hell in a Cell. So we'll see what happens there. There's a lot of moves tonight. I know you weren't happy with the placement of the Mark Henry and Big Show thing.
Why wasn't that the pay-per-view?
I want to say, why put all that stuff in, all your eggs in a pay-per-view basket when you can spread it out and fill some of that 3 hours of Raw? I think that's what it's going to be. If there's an opportunity for things to get pushed to another week, they're going to take it at this point.
But why did we have to give them a tag team title shot? They both just lost really badly to Rusev. How does that make them #1 contenders for the tag titles? They're not a tag team.
In the long run, I think the booking committee, the championship committee, as they used to say, I think in WCW and probably TNA as well, is smoking something every week with this. It's like, oh, you lost, or
like you could have done that same exact thing with Slater Gator.
You could have, but I think it also it makes you get a win for the champions, you know.
Oh yeah, a win.
It's still a win.
Big Show knocked out Stardust.
Wait, what are they going to do with? What else are they going to do with these guys? Do you have a tag team that's a more significant challenge for these two?
Slater Gator. They need to remember they have more than 8 people on the show. They need to remember this. They apparently remembered it in the last 5 minutes when the whole roster ran to the ring for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
But why? You didn't need to have that be the champions. You didn't need to have that be the champions. That could have been any heel tag team.
Anyways, there's a lot of other stuff that happened here. Bo Dallas being amazing as usual.
Of course. Bo Dallas and the big guy, I kind of want them to be together.
That could be good. That could be big. Ryback and Bo Dallas.
You can call them Boback.
Boback! That'd be amazing. What happened?
Say.
What happened to Curtis Axel?
He died on the way back to his home planet.
Oh no!
He's Poochie.
Oh no!
I think he's actually secretly growing his hair out really long, like longer than Dolph Ziggler, and shaving, and learning how to do that fucking towel toss. Like the behind-the-back towel toss where he catches it just like his dad, and the gum spit. I think he's just going to come back as Mr. Perfect 2.0. At least he should.
That's true. That's true. Work on that basketball deal. But no, really good to see Ryback back. Who amazingly, he was starting to get the cheers towards the end of before he got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see that came through. I think a lot of people watched his video and saw the amazing internet fodder that was for a week.
If Ryback and Big E could just be the personalities they are on Twitter, oh my god! I mean, we can even team them up and call them like Social Justice, and they can be awesome Twitter people.
Social Justice.
I don't know. I'm spitballing, like just something, anything, because they show so much personality on the internet, and they're allowed to show none on TV. None. Like Ryback a little bit, but Big E hasn't been able to show what he can do since he was with Ziggler and AJ.
It's so weird, and it's one of those things. Like, this is a big company. There's a lot of stuff going on, and what misses the boat on stuff like that? I mean, it is like this is a whole other topic, but they get opportunities. Like I was listening to a thing about the dirt sheet with Miz and John Morrison getting over to the point where they started doing it on TV after like a year of doing it online, just as something to do online. Because
why don't we do stuff like that on the network?
I don't know. Production. I don't know. Maybe I feel like the network's probably over here and the production over on Raw is over here, and they're not meeting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to a point, like they can't be like, hey, we have this thrown in the line. They were pulling YouTube stuff and putting it in between shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and they have so much content that is about 5 to 10 minutes long, and it's quick bursts of just fun and their characters being characters. Like, do you know one thing that made me really, really enjoy John Cena when everyone else was hating on him? 5 questions with the champ. Like, he would just take email and Facebook questions, and he would just answer them, and he would be very funny, and he would talk about the Brooklyn Brawler. That was amazing.
It's like anything like that to take people out of their element and show a little bit of personality. I think really helps to like you liked him because of that. I think Dolph Ziggler was another one that really shined from his VH1 wannabe top fives. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I even enjoyed to a point when they were doing the what was the thing with Road Dogg and Josh Matthews and a puppet?
The classic theater or something like
Can
that.
we just put that on demand? That was on YouTube, but you know, like yeah, you know.
Or even you know where I'm getting that now, Sorg? Total Divas.
Total Divas is your outside the box personality thing.
Summer Rae is amazing. Tyson Kidd, my God, Tyson Kidd, like that's where they build personalities. Even Titus O'Neil gets a chance on Total Divas to show that he is hilarious and awesome. But it's just like the Raw seems so formulaic now. Like
it is. It's by the problem is it really feels like Raw is by the numbers. I was just reading a really good article by a friend of the show, Justin LaBar, talking about, hey, Hell in a Cell kind of went old school last night and kind of went back to the well and delivered pretty much top to bottom. Their worst match wasn't that bad.
The matches on Hell in a Cell were absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. But me personally, if let's just say I have the network, I was doing something Sunday night, I wasn't able to catch Hell in a Cell. What did I miss? Bray Wyatt returned. That's it.
I think in the end you need to watch that Ambrose Hell in a Cell.
Okay, but let's just say for argument's sake that I'm not a guy who cares about the in-ring matches. I watch it for like the storylines and the drama, like a lot of the people in the WWE universe.
Okay, the more casual people, but they may not have the $9.99. Like I think the people you're talking about aren't going the extra mile to get this.
I think they're the majority though. I think they're the majority, and they're the reason why guys like Cesaro and stuff like that are not on top. And
they're already buying the $9.99 so they can go watch Stone Cold Steve Austin back again.
But again, the Attitude Era did not have amazing matches. It had amazing storylines.
But if you're that guy that doesn't care, you're gonna go watch that stuff anyways, and relive your glory days and your ECWs that were fantastic. That's what's gonna happen there. But no, it was a good show. I don't know. We were in a group. I really think we're getting out of Raw, but I really think who you watch the show with definitely colors how you enjoyed the show. If I'm a lot of times, sitting there on a hangout, just watching it by yourself, or just watching it by yourself, you analyze it. You don't get to take yourself, invest in it, as you do with certain groups of friends. And I think maybe that's why I've been like, wow, that was a good time, that was a fun show, is because we've been having these pay-per-view parties like we couldn't afford to do back in the day, and I think that really does color your experience with that. This is a broader question. Actually, I'll probably put this out on Twitter. I'd love to hear what other people think of this, because every time I hear somebody, not to like attack you on this, every time I hear somebody on the Twitters or something saying, man, that wasn't really a good show, that really didn't deliver, man, I'm like, that guy just watched it by himself on a stream, eating Cheetos.
I mean, I watched it with people, but it's just
again, it's not it's like on your opinion.
No, I'm a weird wrestling fan. I'll actively admit that. I still watch TNA, so I'm one of the few. But but I don't know. I wanted to see. To me, Hell in a Cell was great matches, but ultimately a holding pattern, with the exception of the Dean Ambrose Bray Wyatt thing.
Well, I think everything's a holding pattern until Royal Rumble in general.
And that's why I'm so frustrated by it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But it shouldn't be.
How many balls have been dropped with injuries over the past 6 months? Everything is a scramble right now.
1.
2.
2? Who's the second?
Bryan and Reigns.
I don't count Reigns.
You don't count Reigns?
No. Reigns getting injured is the best thing that could have happened to him, because he was stale as fuck.
He would have been pushed to the moon, flopped, and never given another shot.
Yeah, but he was stale as fuck. Stale as fuck.
He has got to stop reading off the teleprompter on those satellite promos. I'm using my air quotes here.
Mm-hmm. Just Reigns needs to take this time off. Work with an acting coach. Work with something. Work with someone. Find Chris Jericho and get Chris Jericho.
Where are you at, Chris Jericho? Where are you at?
Get Chris Jericho to teach you how to act. Be a roadie for Fozzy if you have to. Do something to make me not want to kill myself when you open your mouth. Metaphorically.
We do have a question from the chat here. I'm sorry, from the Q&A. You can join us here if we're live again. Moments after. Follow Wrestling Mayhem Show, especially on Google+. That's where you'll get the quickest kind of notification. We do put it out on our Facebook and at Mayhem Show on the Twitters. But our good friend Aaron Wheels, who joins us on the show here periodically, he's got a question. He says, "Do you see a Randy surprise partner for Cena?" I think so. I think if you're going to do something, I think that's the most interesting you can do with it. I think, one, when he came out and did his kind of promo what the hell thing, it wasn't, here's my difference. Okay, Randy Orton pretty much did the same thing 6 months ago, right? Where he says, well, I'm supposed to be the face and I'm supposed to be this. It wasn't so much, because then it was a very entitled bitchy kind of way. Tonight it was like a very vicious kind of way. Like, I love this tone. I love this cadence. I'm like, wow, Randy Orton's interesting right now. Other than just being fantastic and pulling RKO's out of nowhere. The AA move last night was pretty tremendous. But no, I think that'll be it. And I think your tease is going to be uneasy tension between Cena and Orton, because they just had a freaking Hell in a Cell match, and they're going to be like, hey, none of us like these guys. We should do something about it, and they team up.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see that, and I think in the short term that would be really interesting. But after whatever he has with Rollins blows off, then we're just left with Randy Orton as a face again, and that's never a good thing.
Listen, don't think that far ahead, because they're not.
God. It's so sad that they're not.
Mike, can you do something for me? Mike, can you do something
Sorg, we're not getting a world title match till January.
That's why. Listen, I want to start instituting something. I want to start preaching something called mindful wrestling. Living in the now, living in the moment of wrestling. Did you have a good show tonight?
I'm not doing this if you're quoting a Matt Hardy song.
Is this Matt Hardy's song? Which one?
When I live for the moment!
Oh, hey, but he had something there, didn't he? No. Wrestling should be about, listen, when I go to Ring of Honor, I have no idea what the freak is happening when I show up, and they tape like they tape like 4 to 6 shows in front of me, or I have a very one-off kind of show where they're like doing it for video on demand, or maybe they're just going to cut it up and re-edit for TV later in not a TV format. Either way, every time I go in there, I'm shown, much like we are when we see, we watch too much wrestling, so when we see our flashbacks over the week, we get annoyed from seeing Seth Rollins, John Cena so many freaking times. But for anybody else, any normal fan should be able to show up at the beginning of the night, oh, this is why I care about this, watch the show, have fun, and go home with some feeling. Whether you're pissed because they took out John Cena, or you're, hey, John Cena got over this time, or in hopefully a little glimmer of you wanting to come back to see what happens next time, right? I want you to not look forward. You don't have to do it across all the shows, but when I talk to you in 1 week for Raw.
Well, to be fair, with TNA, I can't look that far forward.
Actually, I won't be here next. Actually, I won't be here next for Raw. So we'll maybe do this in 2 weeks. So we'll talk about what we're going to do for Wrap Up, because I'm going to be in Buffalo, watching Raw. Actually, maybe we'll just do something that way. So I want you to just look at Raw, or maybe try this with TNA or something like this. Don't think about the, well, they're not around, so this doesn't even matter. It's like, did this matter tonight? Did this make me care tonight? And not the logic. It's like, did this work the logic that if I throw out all the past, because they're not thinking about the past, if I throw all that out.
Unless they specifically reference the past.
Well, Well, then they're just asking for trouble.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
So I want you to be the mindful wrestling fan. I want you to practice this. And when you're like, man, that doesn't make sense because they didn't do this 6. Oh, wait, take a step back.
but Sorg, you know what I do that with? NXT.
Because NXT is easy to, because there's no expectations.
No, I have expectations. I have probably more expectations on NXT than I do with Raw because that's the proving ground. That's for the up-and-comers. That's for the guys who are trying to get to the main roster. With Raw, I realize it's just going to be a formulaic, we have to burn 3 hours and 5 weeks to get to the next pay-per-view. With NXT, I don't know when the next pay-per-view is, and they most likely do not either. So it's a lot easier to take it week to week. I don't know. It just I want, like, I know that I don't see the point in pushing Seth Rollins as a Money in the Bank holder if there is no champion for him to constantly threaten.
He is your champion. He is like somebody. It gives him a purpose. They're everybody's chasing the champion, but there's plenty going on in the meantime.
No, everybody is not chasing the champion, Sorg. There are 2 guys chasing the champion.
Okay.
John Cena and Seth Rollins.
And you can say Randy Orton, at least for the past 3 weeks.
No, Randy Orton is chasing his own tail.
Okay.
Because as long as Brock Lesnar is the champion, Randy Orton is not going to get anywhere near that.
You know that because he'll face etc., but they definitely teased that this could happen with the Hell in a Cell. I know, like, the logical, I've been watching wrestling too long, things like, oh, no, obviously the Cena's getting this.
I'm pretty sure you could watch wrestling 1 week and say, oh, John Cena, the guy that runs this place, never loses. I get it.
I don't think it's as clear as you think. Listen, we've been watching wrestling a long time.
That's true.
And not to say, like, the normal wrestling fan's stupid or something, but I think like it does take a while before you, like, kind of see, before you can read the code of the matrix of pro wrestling. Wow.
So are you saying I'm the cipher of the Wrestling Mayhem show?
Cipher of the Wrestling Mayhem show. No, I don't want to. No, I'm not giving you that one. I'm not giving you that one.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'll give you. You can be the Tank of the Wrestling Mayhem show.
Oh, but Tank died.
Well, yeah, but he was so lovable.
Oh no, wait, Tank didn't die. Dozer died. Okay, I'm good.
Okay. On that note, guys, this is the kind of conversation we have with even more people.
Who do you think is going to be on Team Cena?
Oh, I already said.
I
think it's gonna be Usos and Ziggler and maybe but took your Sheamus. Authority is more interesting. I don't know. Like part of me wants to say it's gonna be your Rollins, Kane, and like Noble and Mercury come back.
Begging for it to be Noble and Mercury.
I don't know.
I'm begging for that. If that's the team, if that's the Authority team, I'm all in for Survivor Series. I'm all in because that's new, that's different, that's the Stooges, but it's also Faceplate and Nidia. So I'm in. I'm in for all of that. Especially if they dig up their old gear and Noble pulls out like jean shorts that are way too tight and a wife beer that just says like Nidia's bitch on it or something and
when you're describing that, I confused which one you were talking about, and I'm like, Mercury never wore that.
No, and then Mercury pulls out the old face mask, but it's actually the prop from Cena Weevil 2 because he couldn't find the old one. Oh, please.
And he's wearing M&M pants, and they do the whole like photographer gimmick for no reason.
Yes. Oh my God.
But Noble does the split.
I need all of this. Or even better, Mercury comes out in his straight edge society gear. Like, for no other reason. He comes out to Cult of Personality.
To troll the hell out of the Punk haters.
Or he comes out to This Fire Burns. Like the old
Real quick. Mainstream Matt, at Mainstream Matt with 1 T on the Twitters. Great blog that he has over there, linked on his Twitter. He's calling Cena, Ziggler, Usos, Orton. So I guess I didn't throw Orton out there. We did suppose that as well.
Yeah, I mean, Team Cena is probably going to be Orton, Ziggler, and the Usos.
Makes sense.
I would have, before they did the Ziggler thing, I would have loved for Cena to pick a team of NXT guys, because the whole tag was you can't fight the future. But if Cena says I can fight the future with the future and brings in like a couple NXT guys just for, or that's why you bring up the Ascension.
Love the idea, but too cool for them to pull off. Like,
yeah, it's way too much.
Please surprise me, WWE.
It's way too much writing and creativity involved.
Exactly. All right, hey guys, we gotta get out of here. On that note, please join us tomorrow at 9 p.m. for Wrestling Mayhem Show. Of course, we got plenty of other shows going on, starting about 3:30 p.m. A bunch of different topics, not just wrestling, at live.sorgatronmedia.com. We, of course, have the Indie Mayhem Show. We got a local wrestler named Aiden Vale. I'm hoping he'll tell me his John Cena run-in story from a few years ago here in Pittsburgh that I've gotten to hear on past car trips. Please check us out on Twitter at Mayhem Show, Wrestling Mayhem Show on the Facebook and the Google+. And please check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com/WMS or Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show if you want to support this. And again, please subscribe to us, the WWE RAW Wrap Up Show. WWE RAW Wrap Up is the actual title, on iTunes and Stitcher, or the Wrestling Mayhem Show Super Feed to get everything wrestling we're doing at Sorgatron Media. So until next time, for Mad Mike, Mike4883 on the Twitters in Poughkeepsie, New York, and I'm at Sorgatron on the Twitters from Pittsburgh, PA. We'll see you guys next Monday. Somehow.